Following much speculation, it looks like modular homes will be placed on a site in Clonmel to house refugees. And South Tipperary TD Mattie McGrath joins me now. Mattie, good morning to you.
Morning, friend.
Good to talk to you today, Mattie. What do you know of this so far, Mattie? Because we've been skirting around this for some time, but it looks like it's going to happen.
Yes, friend, we have been skirting around it, and indeed every community, I'm happy to be here this morning in County Wicklow and Flynn at a BPA function, and I just up the road, there's troubles in Newham and Kennedy, a couple of miles up the road. Everywhere around the country it's the same story. No information, no community engagement, nothing whatsoever. It's like extracting teeth. I've been on to you, I think it was at the late February, early March, and I told you, a gentleman arrived in my office one day just informed me that this site had been looked at. I started asking questions. We got some information then through the county council back in late February, early March, and then we had no more from them until Friday evening at 6:30. Got an email from the Synod CAB, the housing department, informing councillors and our office members of this decision to locate 82. Now, since I've been asking parliamentary questions. I've been in contact several times with this community so-called engagement team and raising it with OPW and with HSE. Why are those? The land is a site, the HSE owned land between the Clonmel, the Care Road roundabout, when you leave Clonmel and after going towards, a Ferret Road roundabout. Yes. It's between the two roundabouts and the Care Road roundabout and the Haywood site, the entrance up to the Wipton Rugby Club, and a corner of that field there. But not a corner because it's 10 acres being examined. And from my parliamentary responses, I gleaned that the OPW, in conjunction with the HSE, had been investigating the topography of the site, the flooding, the whole access and egress, and indeed the invasive species that are thought to be in that area as well, and the plants. And now they have come up with the site as green light, and it's how come they get green light? And I have your headlines there about statements about the housing crisis. We have a housing emergency with I don't know how long. And why can't we get statutory? Why can't we do like we did for the Displaced Persons Act, where Minister O'Brien signed a statutory instrument called C1 306 in 2022, which allows the council. That was only for 2 years, but they extended it by a year some time ago, not recently. And then in the new proposals now for the Immigration Pact, they want to extend it until 2030. This means that they can come into any site anywhere and, once topography is okay, once the issues I mentioned there are okay, or a disused building or whatever, and do them up for the housing.
Without going through the usual loops?
Hadn't go through any loops at all whatsoever.
Okay. I was looking back at some of the responses you got in the Dáil as well. Was the initial number of modular homes to be 62?
62, now it's 82. And the problem is on that site, it's a fine piece of land. It's 8 to 10 acres they're looking at. There's up to 200 acres in that strip of land along there, north of the bypass. We've been looking for, different, a lot of schools being moved up to different projects over the years, but nothing has happened. Indeed, we've been begging for that junction, Hayward Junction to be started. It's a little junction. There's no overpass or even walking overpass. It's a very, very bad junction. But when it comes to this situation, there's no shortage of money. I did a quick calculation. An RT program recently, a friend, we found out between the discussions and documents between the OPW and the Department of Housing, that the costs of providing these modular homes went from €200,000, actually more than doubled up to €7,500 per unit. I mean, that is astronomical, that kind of an increase. These are not solid houses. They're modular, so they have a lifespan, obviously, but that is blackmail kind of money to be charging. How could they go to that price? But you had those all
obviously, that's taking the land into account as well, I presume.
Possibly, but this land is owned by the state, so possibly, I'm not sure. But it would have to be. You've got to want to be gold places there. Homes
so what is your calculation then for 82?
It's 33, almost 33.5 million. My maths now on the best, but I just totted it up there this morning. So just for something that will not last forever, obviously, modulars are modulars, but the situation I see about it is, there's no information. When I got the information on Friday evening, I was actually asked not to disseminate it, and I asked
What about the people going into the modular homes? Are we talking Ukrainian refugees here?
No, IPAS, international protection applicants. And going in there. So, I mean, there's many other sites being looked at.
There's no indication of that in the documentation, Mattie, that I can see. I mean, were you told that?
Yes, back in the start.
That is IPAS.
Yes, back from the start. There's IPAS applicants. The pressure is on at the moment to find sites anywhere. And they were talking about these number of big outlets in the country, big sites, that maybe take up to 1,000. And I believe this is one of those six. And, the person that walked into my office and gave me some information, didn't want to be named some months ago, has been proved exactly correct. So it's a pity that you have to find out from those kind of situations. That's the way you have to find it out. But look, it's very, very serious. Coming out with the pact as well, be pushed through without debate. I don't know what this government, or when are they going to start listening to the Irish people. You thought after the referendum that they would, but they definitely have no intention of doing it. And we see trouble, and we see it's pity. Well, you see the right police again. What they call soft caps there in Mount Kennedy yesterday, and different using force. Whether you have peaceful protests, I emphasise peaceful protests. I have no trouble with any violence or any burning of any building, arson attacks. They're no good to anyone. But where you have peaceful people gathered, and now they're being forced more often than not by the Joe Banton.
Well, we await official statements